Tim, that's a hard one to stop playing. It
Yeah,
really is.
it's still in my head. I'm just listening to it in my head. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm just gonna put it on repeat. There's got to be a 10-hour playlist of that just on repeat on YouTube somewhere, right?
If not, we should do it tomorrow.
We could easily do it and then just put it on the No So YouTube and just make the supercut, post it, ... profit.
Perfect. There we go. Speaking of, we are here for the Bloodline Civil War. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos. Tim, last time we talked about the Bloodline on Clotheslines and Headlines was after the Survivor Series. And my question to you was, did the Bloodline peak? And it kept rising. It kept rising and rising and rising. And I don't really think that we're necessarily on a downward slope. If anything, we're leveling off. But this is easily still the most interesting thing within the WWE, within the wrestling world. This thing just rocks, really. It kicks ass.
For sure. To quote another famous face on YouTube, we're already at the top of the mountain, but we're only halfway up. It's still, I feel like I'm one of the lone people on not the island of relevancy, but I'm a Roman truther. I'm not a person who needs to read the tea leaves and wait for his career to be over to say he's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest WWE superstar of all time. You can have your Randy Savages, you can have your Stone Cold Steve Austins, you can have everything. Roman Reigns right now, this run solidifies it, and the way that all of the ships being raised at the same time. Call me a homer, call me a mark, call me WWE pilled or whatever. That's fine. I'm enjoying what I'm enjoying, and it just so happens to be this God run for Roman. So I'm
not ready to go with you all best
jazzed.
of all time, but best of the current day without a shadow of a doubt across the board.
That's fine.
Across the board.
I will happily hold down the bandwagon as greatest of all time, and I'll be pulling people on for decade after decade, and I'll invest early, expand my land accumulation, and then just start parsing out my land to people as they come.
All right, we'll get there one day. Maybe I'll get there one day, but right now he's kicking ass. And
For sure.
This little intertwined feud has always been bubbling. It's always been Roman as the head of the table. I have a low key theory that I want to throw your way
All right.
afterwards, but let's get there first.
Yes.
It's always been the Roman Reigns show. Jey Uso has been his right hand man, his number one supporting cast, and then Jimmy has been, what's the Brady Bunch guy? Who's the Greg? Is he Greg? I don't know. He's the one on the lowest tier, but the Usos as a whole is easily a top 3 tag team within the WWE history. I'll give you that. If you want to go Usos top tag team of all time, I'll give you that one because I believe that they are, at least in the last X amount of years. They kick ass. And then you have Solo. I'm not necessarily sure I'm sold on Solo as that Solo next guy, but he fills this role very, very well. But this whole universe wraps around Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman was kind of the fracture that started this crack in a way. He maybe I'll let the cat out of the bag. This isn't Bray Wyatt shit, but I think Paul Heyman is the tribal chief.
Huh. Okay.
I think he is the one that triggers the tribal chief. I think he is the wise man is the one that gets into the tribal chief's ear and turns him into the tribal chief. So once that, it's not like Bray Wyatt Fiend spooky bullshit, but
right.
Paul Heyman is the straw that stirs the drink of
for sure
of the tribal chief.
It's kind of like
yeah,
it's the marriage analogy of like I'm going to be using very, very old, antiquated analogies of men and women, but the man is the head of the household, but the woman is the neck that turns the head.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns might be the head of the table, but Paul Heyman may be the neck that turns the head. And so Paul guides the ship. I can absolutely see that. He's so maniacal, and especially if you go back, like it's crazy to say that this is 2 decades ago, but
Mhm.
back in Survivor Series '02 with the My Client Will Be WWE Champion, and he's
Mhm.
managing he's managing Brock Lesnar, and the Big Show wins the title, and Paul Heyman runs off with the Big Show.
Mhm.
Like, Paul Heyman has not been beneath chicanery,
He
beneath
knows how to put his finger
story.
on the pulse. He knows how to keep his he needs to keep his fingers greased. He knows where the milk's made, and he knows the
That's
kind
right.
of milking it. You know, he's the one that always power hungry. He's the one that even back to his Paul E. Danes, he was power hungry when the Paul are dangerous, then the Dangerous
Mhm.
Alliance. So what did he do? He assembled a man of misfit toys and created his own army. So we'll go down that Paul Heyman rabbit hole another day. But
Right.
I think he is. I think he is the tribal chief. And
I think that there's a very good possibility, especially with his history with like
Mhm.
the elders of the tribe, so to
Yep.
speak, that he very well could be the true north
Yep.
of the title of tribal chief.
So
Uh,
while we're down this rabbit hole, let's keep digging.
I love it. Just send it in.
Now, you say that he's with the elders. Could the elders be Jay and Jimmy's dad? And
Oh,
I'm not saying
without question, I think
but
that the
that
elders have been
Samoan SWAT team. This is for their first Rikishi's first break was the Samoan SWAT team brought into WCW by Paul Heyman. So I'm not
yeah.
saying it's a long coup. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in the long and short of it, there could be a little bit of truth to. Oh, we were grooming Jey Uso to be the number guy, but Roman Reigns, you didn't see it coming. I'm not saying we're letting that cat out of the bag right here, right now, but this could be the first chapter. Or we're in a few chapters deep, but this could be the next pivot to kind of get us to Jey versus Roman. Do you suspect that at SummerSlam, and this match is a springboard to that, or what do you think?
At this point, so I guess the answer to this question is also going to be revolving around the answer to another video that'll be on the North South Connection talking about the men's Money in the Bank,
Mhm.
depending on who's winning that. Um, that's for a different video. Check that out when it's out, please.
Wednesday.
Yes, but I think it depends. Partially, it depends on who claims the briefcase.
Okay.
Um, but it's tough. I personally think if there's going to be any sort of chicanery, it might be and that's because I watched a little bit of SmackDown today, and I like my visual imagery. The SmackDown tonight was opened up by the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. Jay, they're both wearing We the Ones shirts.
Mhm.
Jay, the white We the Ones. Jimmy, the black We the Ones. What if Jimmy, like, Jay pulls himself away only for Jimmy to go back? And then we get Jimmy versus Jay at SummerSlam. And then I don't know what you do with Roman. Honestly, because it's so tough to find a spot for Roman. I think doing either Jimmy and Roman or Jay and Roman or the Usos versus Roman or whatever, I think SummerSlam might be too early for that. Um, Time will tell once we see what happens at Money in the Bank, because and
Mhm.
uh, whatever happens with the tag team match in the Civil War, could shake everything up. But I think it might be a little too soon, and I think that there's still more wrinkles in the story moving down the line. I think that a Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns one-on-one match, as crazy as it sounds right now, I don't think he can get wasted, and that's crazy to say, get wasted at SummerSlam.
Mhm.
But to me, this whole Bloodline storyline has revolved around not just Roman, but Jey. And to
Okay.
have it play out at Mania, to me,
Philadelphia Mania.
yeah,
Okay.
put it at Philly. Like,
Yep.
I just don't. If you're gonna crown Jay, because if Jay gets another shot at Roman, he can't miss. He's already had his chances. He was in the Bloodline. The whole Bloodline thing started because Jay and Roman were beefing during the pandemic. Jay's been as close to Roman as anybody else.
I would be shocked if they split up the Usos. Do you think we get Jimmy at SummerSlam?
I think there's a good possibility, depending on if things play out and how I'm like slightly fantasy booking it in my head. Like Jimmy turns on Jay, joins the Bloodline, and then we get another wrinkle of the Civil War. And now
Jay's on an island?
Jay's on the island by himself. And then it's Solo, Jimmy, Roman, Jay, Sammy, Kevin. Because Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are on both shows because they're the double champions.
Okay. All right, we'll see where we go. But hey, we got a plethora of ways to go, and that's
for
good
sure.
Storytelling. We could go down other rabbit holes. I went down the Paul Heyman route. You went down the Jay on an Island route. It's just we don't know where we're going. It's the best story in television. Well, the best story in WWE
in wrestling television.
In wrestling television for sure. I'm not one of those Emmy guys. Like I'm not thinking it's it. No.
I'm not that far into it.
That was a slip of the tongue. That wasn't true.
It's wrestling. It ain't high theater. We're not here getting EGOTs.
I will say though, that super kick last weekend.
Oh my God.
Sheesh. Yeah. You out. And I'm out too.
I'm out too. Damn.
Smash.
Like that. Like the only other times that they've hit that story beat on TV has been on pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't done that on free TV yet.
Yeah, they've been giving breadcrumbs. This
was like the mid-season finale of just a big explosion. Yep. Crazy stuff happens, which makes me think that there's more craziness to come.
All right, I got some rapid fire questions for you here.
Sure.
We'll start with an easy one. Who's winning this match? Usos or Solo and Roman?
I think the Usos win.
Next question. Who's taking the L? Solo or Roman?
I think Roman takes the L.
Woo! Pinfall?
Yeah.
That would be ballsy. It would be really cute to do because this is why
here's the crazy part.
Yeah.
So like I said Jimmy's gonna turn on Jay.
Yeah. You're all
I think this turns into like very much the Shield evolution stuff. I don't think Jimmy turns on Jay at Money in the Bank. I think that's something that happens between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. I think that they one and done Roman at Money in the Bank. And Jay pins Roman. And then they see how dangerous the Usos are together. And they pipe dream Jimmy.
Triple H, Seth Rollins bullshit in 2014.
There's always a plan B. And then that's where you get Jimmy back.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that. But here's the thing. I don't mind. I'm not sure. All right, so let's play this game. Is Jay Uso the guy to unthrone Roman Reigns while we're at the question?
It's 50-50 split. Half my mind's on Jimmy, or half my mind's on Jay, and half my mind's on Solo.
I'm not on the Solo train yet. I
am 100% on the Solo train.
I'll listen to Jimmy. I'll listen to Jimmy pitches. I'll listen to Jimmy thoughts. I'm into him. I'll add to him. Solo. I don't see the investment. I don't see it. Let's put it that way. I see potential of it. I just don't see it yet. And the guy that beats Roman Reigns needs to have it in it. It needs to instantly cash in and be the guy. I don't think it's a project guy. I think it's a absolute.
Well, Solo is absolutely Roman Reigns in the Bloodline. If you compare the Bloodline to the Shield.
Yeah.
Solo.
Okay.
Solo is that quiet enforcing character. Whereas the Usos have that sort of they both play that Dean Ambrose lunatic fringe, crazy, frantic role. And Roman is that architect. He's the Seth Rollins. So all Solo needs is he's already got the wins over former world champions on television. They've already positioned him as such. He needs a really strong showing at a Royal Rumble. Like, he needs to have,
Could
like,
he handle
he just
5
needs the
minutes
right
on
places.
Raw? Like I know he would need a lot of deodorant. He would need a lot of Paul Heyman in his life. He would just, whew. All right. So I'm the whole Shield thing. Okay. Versus, all right. I'm like 3%.
There's player comps. There's player comps for
It
everything.
wasn't the worst thing I've ever heard. It was pretty good actually. But all right. So my last Paul Heyman thing here before we get out of here. You answered my question. You think the Usos wins and Jay is going to pin Roman? I don't know if I can see Roman losing 2 titles in a row. I can see maybe, or 2 matches in a row.
Well, Solo took the fall last time.
That's true. But still,
at some point, Roman has to start losing, right? Like, and if he's not losing one-on-one, he's got to lose in the tags. And it's a way to keep him. It's a way to keep him strong.
Would it diminish his eventual loss if he were to take a pin?
No. When he loses to, and you said it earlier on in this mini pod, of the Usos are arguably the top tag team in the history of the WWE. Right? There's no harm in Roman Reigns losing to the best 2-man duo, the 2-man team in WWE history.
He's already done a shitload for him, though. I know.
Right. But it's like saying take the most dominant player in any sport and put them against the best 1-2 combo anywhere else.
Then we gotta go. If Jay pins Roman, we gotta do that at SummerSlam instantly. We gotta go to it right away. I think they have to. If that would be the plan. If we get that at Money in the Bank, they have to right away.
That's why I feel like if you do that, they have to have someone run distraction. Somebody has to immediately try to cut it off. And that's why I think the only thing that would derail Jay from going right after Roman is the injection of Jimmy. But then again, I could be wrong, and Drew McIntyre comes back. They're in London. They're in the UK.
Do it on the Raw side.
Well, he got drafted to SmackDown.
No, he's on
Raw. Drew's on SmackDown.
No, he's on Raw.
No.
I'm pretty sure he's on Raw.
I'm looking it up.
Look it up.
I'm looking up. You got another question for me?
All right, no, we're there. Let me just let the Paul Heyman cat out of the bag. I'm going to give you another question. Sure. So my Paul Heyman theory of Paul Heyman being the tribal chief, that can seem to tickle your fancy a little bit. Now, is he the tribal chief and Jay is his new leader? Is Jay and Roman's on the out, and then Roman's got this vengeful babyface run in him, and then he recaptures the gold at WrestleMania, and then it's Jay. You still get your WrestleMania, but you get ultimate heel, bloodline insulated Jey Uso. Roman's out, head of the table Jey Uso, and then you get your big babyface. That was the goal all along. Or this is the one I kind of like, but I don't really have any substance to it. I think Paul Heyman has realized that family is super important, as he has been in the bloodline the last few years, and he kind of goes back to his roots, and he starts another alliance to bring down the bloodline. He fractured the bloodline. He pulled a quick one. He brought the belt over to the alliance. He's brought I don't know who that guy is. We could fill it in later, but he has isolated the alliance around this one guy because he wants to be champion, because he's been the tribal chief the whole time, and he's been Brock Lesnar's guy the whole time. He's CM Punk's guy the whole time. He's always been the champion all along, and he starts his own alliance with, I want to say Austin Theory, but I don't trust him.
That's exactly who is in my head.
I know, but he's such a baby. He's not ready for that.
LA Knight Brock Lesnar was a baby.
Yeah, I know. LA Knight would be cute, but I don't know if they go that route.
But LA Knight doesn't need a Paul Heyman.
I know, but can you imagine, like, would Oof, did CM Punk need a Paul Heyman? No, but they were electric together. But LA Knight as a character needs the credibility of a wise man, if they were going to go with him. So
I mean, what about a Karrion Kross?
pass.
Like, he's got Scarlett, but
If Karrion
also
wants to be a part of the family, he's like the Larry Zbyszko on the fringe. he's the tag team with the other old vet they bring in.
I mean, the only other name I can see on SmackDown side, what about Bob Lashley? The last time Bob Lashley had really big success in the main event, he was under the tutelage of MVP as the head of the Hurt Business. Now Paul Heyman creates the Heyman family, or creates the new Dangerous Alliance.
So I don't know. Well, maybe it's Jey Uso, or maybe I don't know. He keeps Solo just because.
What if it's Solo? What if that's the tie, and Solo is the breakout star from this and creates like the new Bloodline?
I think Theory would be the guy, but if he had the Money in the Bank last year at this time, he's like a year too early with that.
Yeah.
If you think of think about it, if you'd be like, oh, if Money in the Bank would be a bad way to end Roman's title reign, Hogan's title reign with Andre and DiBiase, that was fluky. Look at Backlund's title reign with the fucking throne in the white towel. Bruno's was a friggin' roll up the crickets. You know what I mean? All these historical friggin' title reigns have been kind of bullshit. Look at Austin with the blood match, his first title reign.
I guess the only difference though between all of these is that each of those, it is the good guy that is caught slipping on the banana peel.
Yep.
Like Hogan gets hooked on
turning Roman face.
There's no, like, even though he may get like cheered, like he's got Cena heat in this point where it's like, it's fun. He is so cool that it's hard to boo him, but then you still boo him anyways because he's John Cena. But I just, it's really tough to say. But I don't think that you can't have this type of dominant 1,000-day reign with a heel champion and on a banana peel. Like,
I know, but
this guy's got to get literally, like, borderline, like, figuratively beheaded. And like when Roman loses one-on-one, he is gone.
Yep. How about
that's it?
It came to me in a way, kind of came to me. He's been a little damaged, but not really. How about Braun Breaker?
What about Braun Breaker?
No,
I like Braun.
I would think he'd be a 1A, but I really want to go Theory, but I'm going to get dragged for that. And I don't think true my heart. You're not ready until you're ready. I don't know. You go Solo. I would take Theory over Solo, but I understand the family dynamic of it. And I wouldn't rule out Jey either. If he did the whole, he could do the Bloodline and the Alliance together or something. I don't know, something. We'll see. But all right, Tim, you say the Usos are going to win this match. I can't see Roman losing twice. I'm just going to go Bloodline to be a contrarian.
That's fine.
But I wouldn't mind seeing Jey pin Roman. I don't know if I want to hold on to it. We'll see.
It's heart versus head. I'm very much ruling with my heart. Like I want my soul to be fed with this match. And like I want to see at the end of the day, like whatever happens, I feel like this is the one thing WWE can't mess up. Like the Bloodline stuff. They've let Paul and Roman and the whole shebang kind of let themselves run with it. So obviously they know better than two schlubs on the internet, but at the same time, like the heart can want what the heart wants. And I figure we'll get to what we get and we won't throw a fit. And if I get what I want, great. And if I don't get what I want, I'm pretty sure what they'll give me is going to be, at least at replacement level. Like I don't think they're going to give me less than, like it's going to be solid.
It's going to be solid. But then again, we could be talking Money in the Bank next year and Roman's still our champ and he's 365 plus. He's He's in the 1300s. So.
I can dream. I want Roman, like, at this
We're
point.
getting Pedro. Let's go. Let's work one milestone at a time. Pedro, your ass is out next.
How much longer do he have till Pedro?
I think around Payback.
Which is like 3 months from now.
Yeah. Not even.
Yeah.
So August, September. Yeah.
Cake.
Yeah. No problem.
At this point, just let him go to WrestleMania 45. He's fine. The work he's doing. Just go. Just go.
Fucking move over, Bruno Reigns combined. You're out.
Yeah, just one shot, knock it all down. At least I want him to top Hogan.
Oof.
I want him to top Hogan.
It's 4 and change. That's 4 and change. That's 4.5. No, that's
We're at 3.
No, it's 4. Yeah. So 84, 85, 86, 80. Yeah, 4 in a month. 4 months.
Yeah.
4 in a month because he lost it in February. Yeah.
Why not? We've got the world heavyweight title.
24. Let's talk about it.
We got it. We got time.
We'll be the Paul Rudd. Look at us next year at SummerSlam.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at
All
us.
right, Tim. This is the Bloodline. Usos. We can talk these guys all night, but let's get out of here for now, Tim. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one, buddy.
Next time I better have a wheel.
Oof. You will actually, yes. Later.